problem of stray animals is escalating dangerously and poses a big threat to farmers and agriculture in South Africa. Brent McNamara from the Red Meat Producers Organisation in the Eastern Cape is in studio today to talk about the issue and give us feedback on a court case that Agri Eastern Cape has been involved in. Brent, thank you for joining us. What effect does stray animals have on biosecurity? And I'm referring here to small stock and cattle.
It potentially has a tremendous impact. We know now with foot and mouth, which is applicable to all cloven hoof animals, and including pigs, that is being a highly virulent strain. It is spread very easily. The major spread is obviously animals, the movement of animals. Secondly, probably trucks, and lastly, human beings. So, it really doesn't help any farmer to have around a commonage or an area where animals are straying, where there is no control whatsoever. He can implement the best biosecurity measures he wants to. The chances that if there is an infection in that area that farmer is going to become affected is huge. And obviously that has its own ramifications in terms of his economic survivability, given the impact of especially that. But the other diseases as well. It goes as far as brucellosis, it's TB, it's trich. There's been a huge lot of problems with animals. Uncontrolled depasturing onto commonages, keeping of animals within residential areas, and animals just being moved and then just being allowed to roam. And it's the farmers around those areas that have the biggest impact. Yeah.
Talk to us about the court case.
Agri Eastern Cape instituted a court case against Nslami municipality. It's just about 100 kilometers up the coast from Port Elizabeth. Their commonage areas can sustain about 200 head of large stock units. In 2016, we did a census, given the amount of animals around there. Approximately 1,500 were wandering around on that commonage and in the residential areas. And we had a number of dairies bordering those areas, beef farms, and obviously one of the big issues there was being on the R72, there were a number of fatalities with regards to road accidents. Agri Eastern Cape is not against animal ownership, and let me make that clear. They instituted the court action, and for us, it goes about responsible animal ownership. So we instituted action against the municipality. Running since 2016, we had a couple of orders by agreement that were taken with the municipality, endorsed by the courts, and the municipality failed to implement any of the remedial measures that they'd agreed to. And that culminated in the matter being heard in the Grahamstown High Court in front of, at that time, acting Justice Govenji. He is now a full-time judge at the Grahamstown High Court, where a judgment was delivered, and he ordered the municipality to, within 5 months, implement a traceability procedure and to get control on their commonages, institute an application procedure, and basically be a responsible landowner and ensure that the people utilising both the commonages and the residential areas were complying with legislation. Unfortunately, the municipality again did not comply. And we've had to institute contempt proceedings. We're in the final stages of that now. The final heads of argument in the contempt proceedings are being filed, and we will hopefully get a final court date early in the new year. Unfortunately, the court processes take a while, and the rolls are backed up. And we are holding the municipal manager in contempt in his personal capacity, because it is a situation where the ratepayers and the residents are funding both sides of the battle, and we just believe that municipal officials have to comply with court orders and get it in. Interesting enough, we've subsequently launched 2 other court cases on the back of that. One in Yatemba, which is in the Craddock Middelburg area, and another one in Great Khai municipality, which is the Kumga area. And they are basically following on exactly the same process. We want municipalities to comply with their responsibilities in terms of controlling what animals are brought in, how they're brought in, and all the necessary requirements with regards to animal identification are complied with. And together with that, then also to get assistance from veterinary services to assist with disease monitoring. But you cannot assist with disease monitoring if the animals you're testing today are gone tomorrow and new animals are in today and gone tomorrow. So it's just a spiral that's got to stop. And our view is that it stops with the municipality that's in control of the areas where these animals are roaming.
So are they the responsible party? I mean, if we look at this whole court case, who's responsible where stray animals threaten producers' biosecurity?
Well, I think there are a number of areas. These the court cases that we've instituted are against municipalities because it relates to municipal commonages and it relates to the residential areas under the control of the municipality. But obviously, there's also a huge problem from some certain land reform farms where there's also uncontrolled depasturing and people utilizing land reform farms with absolutely no control whatsoever. So they obviously the respondents in any case launched in that matter would be the necessary department. So unfortunately, you've got an issue that road reserves, commonages, road reserves, public open spaces, and other areas under different state departments are also affected, but the most of the animals that we've experienced in the Eastern Cape are in actual fact coming from commonages and residential areas where they probably shouldn't be in the first place.
The issue here is very much biosecurity, but beyond that, what are the other problems?
Well, biosecurity is the one, but the other issue is that when there's absolutely no control on these commonages, they're often used as places where stolen livestock are kept. We've had a number. Our biggest stock theft problems occur on those farms around, and many of the animals are recovered on the commonages because there is no animal identification, there is no control of what is allowed to be there, not to be there. With a number of animals, it's really difficult to go in to actually go and find your animals. So that's the one. The second issue is obviously not so much for the farmers because they do sort of maintain their fences, but the farmers around the areas are finding their fences are being stolen because people in towns are needing fencing to keep them out of their vegetable gardens. I mean, that's just another reality. You've got this huge amount of animals around. A lot of residents don't own livestock, but they would like to have small home vegetable gardens. And obviously they need to fence those from the stock that shouldn't be there in the first place. So they're stealing the fences from the farmers around there. So that's the other issue. And then obviously fatalities, road accidents. There's been a number outside Middelburg, and especially on your national roads and sort of your major arterial roads. There are accidents on a weekly basis and often fatalities. And unfortunately, what happens then you can never find the culpable party. Yeah, the animal belongs to nobody once it's been involved in an accident. And that's also one of the reasons why there's such low compliance with the Animal Identification Act, which is mandatory by law. I believe SAPS is to a large extent failing in that. It's a competency of the police to enforce that. The stock theft units have to do it, and they're simply not doing it. We are fortunate. We do have a pound. That's the other issue in a lot of municipal areas. There are no pounds. We have a pound in that area, but even that it's not, impounding animals is not actually the solution. The solution is in actual fact to control them and to have responsible animal ownership in a manner that the situation can be addressed.
Well, I hope you find a solution for this big problem, and good luck with the court case. It sounds like it's got quite a few months to go still.
Yeah, we've got no option but to persevere because the problem is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And unfortunately, somebody has to make a stand on it. And it's very frustrating for producers to have to try and do this by themselves. So we are hoping that it'll set a precedent and it will drive certain people to the table. We've got some solutions on the table in terms of voluntary traceability systems designed specific for municipalities to control them. And in actual fact, in one municipality, Kocha municipality, we are willingly engaging with them, or they are trying us together to get the animals onto some sort of system that they can control the problem there without having to resort to a court case. So,
Brent, thank you very much. Brent McNamara from the RPO in the Eastern Cape as well as Agri Eastern Cape, joining us today to talk about the problem of stray animals and the court case they are currently involved in.